Hello!
Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens.
We're talking about
the great setup today.
what are we setting up? Maybe success?
Maybe, well, I don't even know what maybe. Oh, I left my notes inside.
Oh, we can share. We actually don't have a lot of notes today because I'm really excited to talk about this because I think this is something that both of us for years now, it's been like years in the making, and it's something that I don't think you ever perfect, but that the more all of us can do, the easier success will come. So yay, thank you guys all so much for joining us. We have several people over here we have Instagram and Facebook. So
one of these days, I'm going to keep saying it to keep myself accountable, but one of these days we will combine our platforms.
we will. So I apologize in advance if we're not looking at each of the cameras because we have them side by side.
Oh, do you remember, was it Wayne's World or was it camera one? Camera two? Camera one?
Wayne's World,
Camera two?
party time.
I think it was Wayne's World. So this is camera one, camera two. Anyway.
Well, happy Monday. We hope you guys had a fantastic weekend and a wonderful Easter, hopefully with your families or your friends or whatever you did. Little note, if you found yourself off course yesterday, oh well, like today's a new day. Jump back in. If you're tracking macros, that specificity is important for a season to really do the work with your metabolism. So just jump back in. Don't try to over or under compensate for yesterday. Just hit those numbers today. Probably drink some extra water. Flush out that body.
I'm drinking a lot of water today. That's my goal.
Yeah, and you're doing good.
I left my water inside. We're outside, and I left basically everything.
So we're in Southern Oregon, if you're joining us from somewhere else. And even though it's not particularly toasty outside, it's really nice right now.
Yeah.
It's not raining yet.
It's
so
not
I thought we'd
snowing
take advantage
anymore,
of it.
so.
I know. It's crazy. I'll take
all the
we're
water we
farmers,
can get.
So I'll take all the water we can get.
We are not farmers.
My family, my husband and I, and our boys are farmers.
I am not a farmer.
Although you're more dressed like a farmer today than I am.
I might channel my inner farmer, but I don't have any farming skills.
Okay, guys, so we are going to talk about success today. We're going to break it down into some bite-sized, tangible things that all of us can do to set ourselves up foundationally for success.
She stinks. I'm
Did she
sorry.
roll at a dead animal? So, farm dog.
Go on, Bets. Go on.
No, sorry. Sit.
Sorry. Yes, don't lick me.
Okay, so I'm going to start with some quotes.
She smells really
You
bad.
inside.
You can't smell her. I'll be right back.
So, she says that because it's been a bit, but I don't have my smell. I did get COVID. I was fine, but I lost my smell, and I have my taste back, but I don't have my smell back. And
which is
it's
a good
so
thing or a bad
weird.
thing.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I always thought that, and I've researched it since, but I always thought that smell and taste went so much more hand in hand than they have for me. So, anyways, we won't go.
Anyway, she can't smell how bad her dog smells. Lucky you.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to start with, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. And that is so true. We're going to get into this, but a little planning goes a long ways.
It's true.
Like a long ways. And this is true in all areas of our life. I know we talk about a lot of things, primarily nutrition, but this is true in overall health, in finance, in fitness, in sleep, in all of it. Like a little bit of planning goes a long ways.
In like the management of your time, I find that planning, like especially for like the weekends, that if you plan ahead, then you're so much more able to manage your time and to do it well than waste it. And I don't like wasting time.
Oh my gosh. Efficiency, like especially as I've gotten older, like being more efficient in all areas of life, mainly because I want, like, one of the most valuable commodities to me is time. And so I want more time and more freedom, and I want to be able to spend that in the ways that I want to. So if you're more efficient in establishing some of these baseline foundational habits, it truly can set you free. It's that quote, I don't know if any of you guys are Jocko fans, but discipline can set you free. And it is so true. And we're going to get into some of those pieces. Another one, and this might not be true for everybody, but I find it a lot with our clients too. Don't just know what, know why. Yeah. Because then you're going to be more apt to doing it. Like it really can make a huge difference. And it's those little things like day over day that can make such a difference.
Well, and I love that because I think that also knowing, and let's talk about it in regards to like setting goals, right? If you know what your goal is, like let's say I have a goal of doing 5 pull-ups. Well, why do I have that goal? Do I want that goal because I want to be able to tell people I can do 5 pull-ups unassisted? Or do I have that goal because ultimately I want to be strong enough that if I needed to climb a fence or whatever it is, I could escape.
Scale over a cliff that you slip down.
Yeah, that's more realistic. Anyway, what's the why behind your goal? If your goal is something like if you want to lose 50 pounds, and what is the why? Why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Is it because you want to be more active with your family? Because you want to be able to run a marathon? Whatever it is, like knowing the why, that's where the power comes from, especially when it comes to reaching your goals.
And I love that because I challenge all of us, ourselves included, to think about a goal. And sometimes we can get paralysis by analysis, right? And so what that means is basically like you're thinking about all the things, like you want to do this, that, and the other. Pick one thing, and then be mindful and be strategic about it. And the first step is determining what is that goal, and then like what Haley said, what is your why behind that goal? Because we need that emotional motivator sometimes, and we need to then often remind ourselves what that why is so that we can continue to progress towards that goal.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I love with our clients, even though we primarily are working with them on coaching, macros, nutrition, there's a whole wellness capacity that comes into that because it's all related, right? We talk about this all the time. Shifting the hormone hurricane to a hormone harmony, like really getting deep restorative sleep, being able to fuel your body for optimal energy throughout the day. All of the things, right? So we have a lot of clients come in and almost always their initial goals are aesthetic related, and that's okay. Like that's okay to have your goals be that. We start helping our clients get towards that, and then they start experiencing all of these positive benefits that then motivate them, and they start shifting their goals sometimes because they're feeling so good that it's more based off of like endurance, strength, energy. Like we just had a grandma that for the first time was able to go like on a long bike ride with her grandkids, and that's something that was really important to her, and like that is amazing.
Yeah. And so I think that something that goes hand in hand with that too is if you pick a goal that you're not passionate about meeting, you can basically assume that you're not going to meet that goal, right? If I pick some arbitrary goal that I don't have like some kind of deep-seated passion for hitting, then I'm not going to do it. You have to believe in that enough to like really want it. And so, and I think that, and we talk about goal setting all the time, and I think that it gets thrown out there as something that's super easy, but I think that if we actually reflect on it a little bit better and we really break down like what are my goals, what am I passionate about, what do I want to achieve with my life, like Emmy and I have lots of goals for Macro Mavens, and it is like what drives us. It's the driving force behind a lot of what we do. And so you need to make sure that the goal that you set is something that you will drive to reach and to commit to, and then set yourself up for success. So if that means you want to do 5 pull-ups in the gym unassisted, well then you bet your bottom dollar you better be in the gym doing the things you need to do those pull-ups, right?
And it's not always just pull-ups.
No,
like it's
it
all
could be
the other things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in terms of like to get to the like using the goal of pull-ups specifically. Like I
sometimes
think
it's
that's
just
so
getting up in the morning. Like you just got to get up. You got to take action.
And we're going to talk about that because we're talking about foundations for success. And that ties into goals. Even if you don't identify them as goals, it's those foundational things that we do day over day, that we create habits that help us be more effective, more efficient in all areas of life.
Yeah.
I will say back to the goal setting, just to piggyback on what Haley was saying, just because your friend or your neighbor or your family member has a goal doesn't mean it needs to be your goal.
Yeah.
Like, don't, if you can, like try to step back and say like, is that really a goal that I share? And it might not be. Like, evaluate like right now, what are things that when you see or you experience that inspire you? Like what are things that you see and like, wow, that would be really cool to feel that way, to do that, to experience that, whatever that is. Then what is it like, don't give yourself limiting beliefs. Like you can do that thing, whatever
it is.
It might take some work, it might take some strategy, and you might need a coach to do it. And I'm not just talking about a macro coach, like coaches in life, whether it be a fitness coach, whether it be a nutrition coach, whether it
or
be
a mentor, like a mentor.
A mentor. Like I am so thankful for some of the mentors that I've had in life because you really do learn things that are difficult for you to ascertain on your own. No matter how much you read, no matter how much you watch, like, you need to experience certain things, and you need to glean from other people's experience, and that is available to everybody, in some capacity.
So real quick, before we move on from this, so if you find that you are in a transition time of life and you're not sure whether to turn left or turn right, sit down, write down the things that inspire you, the things that you're passionate about, some of the things that you see in your future, like, man, I just wish that I could do X, Y, and Z. You know, maybe it has something to do with your fitness level, your nutrition. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's like, I want
a relationship, finances.
It could be anything, but find out what that is for you, and then really like break it down and create a list of like, okay, these are the 5 things that I can do to help move the needle and to help move me closer to that goal. And that in itself is step 1 in setting yourself up to be successful to reach that goal.
And if any of you are willing, and I know that this takes like raising your hand and putting yourself out there, but if you're listening in and joining us, like, we would love to have a conversation. So always feel free to comment below. We'll do our best to try to keep track of those. If you have questions, awesome. If you want to share like publicly what one of your goals may be.
That is so powerful, because it creates a little bit of accountability. In fact, I was telling Emmy, we ask our clients what their goals are, like a mini goal for the week. And I have several clients who are like, well, I want to work out 2 or 3 days this week. Well, then my next question for those clients is always, okay, what days are you going to work out? And then I come back and I check, okay, if somebody says Mondays and Wednesdays, then on Monday and Wednesday, I'll come in and be like, hey, did you get that workout taken care of? You know, it creates a little bit of accountability when you put it out there. If you have an internal goal that you're passionate about, but nobody knows about it, then you're the only one who you're relying on to inspire you and to motivate you to push towards that goal. As soon as I tell Emmy one of my goals, she's so good about being like, hey, did you get to the gym to do those pull-ups, or did you do X, Y, and Z? You know, have an accountability partner. It could be us, it could be a coach, it could be a friend, it could be anybody. So anyway,
it's huge.
It's a big deal.
Huge. Okay, so we're gonna break it down, and we've already kind of been a little bit around the board, but it comes back to planning. So just simple strategies to help all of us create a better foundation for success, because those little things that add up over time are going to lend to efficiency, and they're going to lend to creating habits for ourselves and for the people around us that then create more time and energy to then decide what the next goal is. And so I think one of the biggest things that we can all do for ourselves is to take a couple minutes or longer if you want to, and simply each night prepare for the following day. It not only like the preparation of having some things in place, but the mental exercise of doing that also really relaxes your brain to go into a deeper, more restorative sleep. There are so many benefits to it. And so if you have a journal or just a piece of paper or a napkin, whatever it is, physically take the act of writing out a plan and putting some things in place for the next day. Ideally, that would look like, filling your water up and having it ready so that you start your next morning with water. Prepping and pre-tracking your food for the day so that you literally just have to eat according to what you tracked. Ending your night in gratitude so that you're going to bed with a thankful heart.
Oh, I know one. Getting your workout clothes the night before so that you're not just rummaging through your closet and throwing some random camisole to work out in the morning. This morning we're in the gym working out, and I'm really good about setting my workout clothes out the night before.
I just grab them in the morning.
And anyway, so I always know, like, the next morning, or because we work out early, I'm like, my clothes are right there ready for me to put on. And this morning Emmy comes out to the gym and we're working out. And none of us even noticed. And she's like, what am I wearing? And she's like looking at herself. She has on like this fancy little like camisole
I
top.
thought it was my black workout tank, and I was in such a rush. I just grabbed it, and then when we layer because it's cold out there, and so I took my jacket off, and I took my long sleeve shirt off, and I was working out, and it was a little lower than I normally wear, and I'm like, what is this?
She did not pre-plan.
I didn't,
and she got caught. So anyway, this is a little word to the wise, like pre-plan. Take some time the night before to get your stuff out. If you're going to work out in the morning and that's new for you, or if it's not, find something that works. So set out your clothes, set out your water, do all of the things so that the next day you are are ready to start your day. I feel like I try to teach my kids this, and it's really hard to teach my kids. In fact, my son, who is 16, called me this morning, and he's like, I forgot my computer. And I was like, yeah, you sure did. And I was actually pretty gracious. I drove it down and dropped it off for him. But they know they only get like a certain amount of mama save me's. And when those run out, then it's like, sorry, kid, like you've used up your mama save me's. And so now you have to go through your day without your computer. So anyway, sometimes the consequences of not planning will tell us and teach us that, wait, I need to actually prepare a little bit better. We've all been there. We've all left the house without something we needed because we didn't plan for it or whatever. So.
And I mean, same thing, like my boys, it's taken a little bit, but like I have a list on the fridge of things that are just expected of them every day before they can ask for certain privileges. They know not to ask until they've looked at that list. And it has created these small habits that I still myself have to work on. And it's amazing how quickly kids can adapt. And we can do that same thing if we're setting ourselves up. And so, like going back to the night prior, like every night, if you can take those couple minutes, if you can literally write down what you're grateful for, set your workout clothes out if that's applicable, pre-plan your day for your food, even if you might be going out, like pre-track your day if you're following macros. It can make such a huge difference.
Pull that food out of the freezer. If you have, if you're going to cook chicken that night, I don't know how many times I'm like, well, I was planning on cooking this, but I forgot to pull it out of the freezer.
Yeah.
And it just kind of...
It's amazing what a difference it can make. And then for me, I like to create my to-do list in the evening before the next day, so I wake up with a plan. It also helps me rest easy. I used to struggle with that restless brain. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, my mind would be racing. It was hard to resettle it to go back to sleep. I don't struggle with that anymore. I'm really thankful for that.
She's also ready to work at like 6:30 in the morning. She's like, hey, we need to do this and this.
I work out and then I do set myself up to be very productive before my family wakes up because I really count on that time. So
yes, she does. Meanwhile, I'm home trying to cook breakfast for my family. Who's like, where are you?
Mine are still sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the night prior. So then the next morning, so I really, really think that it's the bookends, right? And that's so true often in life in general, but it's the bookends that are really what can set our whole day up. So it's before you go to bed and it's when you wake up. And so when you wake up in the morning, first things first, don't snooze.
Like, no snoozing.
Get in the habit of getting up when your alarm goes off. It is amazing what that can do for your circadian rhythm over time, both for your sleep and for your energy levels throughout the day. Like, don't snooze. Don't do it because it steals from you. Like, it really does. And so if you don't snooze, so your alarm goes off, or maybe you don't need an alarm. I have found that since I've stopped snoozing, I am almost always awake right before my alarm goes off. Like, it's just my body knows. And so don't snooze, wake up, and I dare you, and this is hard, this was hard for me to do because I sleep with my phone on airplane mode, but it is next to my bed, and like my alarm would go off, and you know, I would get up, I'd turn my phone on, inevitably it would beep, I'd want to know what was going on. So before I even take my phone off of airplane mode, I lay there. For me, it's prayer. It might be like mindfulness or gratitude, whatever it is, but like I will like pray, I might read my verse, I'll look at my list, I'll go pee, then I'll turn my phone on because I'll have just a minute to like breathe, to think, to plan, to have gratitude. Like, it makes a huge difference if you can give yourself a window of just really setting yourself up for success before you even turn your phone on.
Yeah.
So morning comes, night before, you have a plan. You have your day written out. You wake up, you don't snooze, you get up and or lay there. You really take that moment for expressing gratitude, prayer, whatever it is. Like, just that simple act will absolutely set you up to go into the day with a more positive mindset and already feeling successful.
Yeah.
So then you're up, you're gonna start with your water. Like, if you can start your day with water, if you're following a macro plan and we're really looking at your trending over time, we do suggest that you weigh yourself first thing in the morning before you eat or drink anything. So definitely get that out of the way. But then start your day with your water. If you have it setting out, if you have lemon in it, whatever it is, like, it just starts helping you cognitively fuel yourself, getting that burst of energy. Pre-workout, it hydrates you a little bit if you work out in the morning.
It's fun if you jog with somebody who drinks a ton of water right before they work out because you can hear like the sloshing in their stomach.
It is fun.
It is kind of
Poke
fun,
on a
yeah.
little bit. So we've talked about the night before success habits, and now we're talking the morning of success habits. One of the biggest things that I have found for me, and I've read this since, and it's funny, it's become kind of I think it's become a thing, but I wish, and I've teased my mom about this, like for some of the habits that I wish she would have instilled in me growing up, but it wasn't until I was like in my late 20s probably, I'm 40 now, that I started making my bed every morning. And like the simple act of making your bed every morning has you feeling accomplished. Like
There's
something.
like a whole bunch of research around that.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick something. It might not be making your bed. I love crawling into a made bed.
Oh, I will make my bed if for some reason, because I make my bed every day. My mom, if you watch this, thank you. She was a chronic bed maker,
I love
always.
that.
Like, and she used to, and she never like pushed me to make my bed, but she was always like, "You should make your bed. You should make your bed." And I was always like, "Why in the world would you ever make your bed?" And now, and so then I moved away. I went to college, and I started making my bed in college. And then, it, like you said, it has turned into a habit from when I was 18 and living on I was living with a bunch of girlfriends. But anyway, I've just always made my bed. And if I don't make my bed for whatever reason, if I'm rushing out of the house in a hurry, then I will make my bed before I climb in it at night, because like everybody wants to climb into a nice
crawling
bed.
back, pulling your covers, and there's a bunch, and don't take our word for it. Like, do your own research. But there's a bunch of like research behind the psychology behind having that win of success.
Right
when
away.
you make your bed in the morning, you feel like you've achieved something.
Yeah.
And that achievement then leads you to wanting to achieve more things.
Yeah.
And so now you've found yourself having gone to bed with a plan, having had a plan for that day, having got deep restorative sleep, waking up, not snoozing, having a moment. Even a moment. I know I wake up and have a million things I need to do, but if you take that moment and you really practice some gratitude, maybe even write it down, if you have a prayer or devotional life, do that before you even turn your phone on. Then you're up, you're, weighing yourself if you need to, you're drinking your water, and you already have a plan for your day. Then you can go into your workout, go into your routine of, prepping kids for school, whatever it may be, and you are set up for success. Making your bed with that achievement, just those things alone, really help you foundationally go into your day with the positive can-do attitude, which is half of the battle a lot of the time.
Honestly, and even if you're not a bed maker, just speaking positive words to yourself is so powerful. I have a handful of clients who have shifted their perspective, they came into our program with a really negative, just negative self-talk. It was constantly like, I just can't do this. This is so hard. I'm just struggling. I'm, all of those things. And I was just like, just shift your perspective. Pick one thing that you love about yourself and tell yourself how wonderful you are in that one thing. Maybe you have amazing hair and you get up in the morning and you
has amazing hair.
Oh, thank you. I kindly disagree. But just look in the mirror and be like, dang, I've got amazing hair. And that is wonderful.
Yep.
Just speaking simple words of positivity. When we are negative with ourselves, it translates to everything else during the day. But if you can speak positive words of affirmation to yourself, don't rely on other people to do it. Do it for yourself. That alone will change your mind, and you will go into your day with a positive attitude, ready to conquer the world. And that's super important. I so believe in that. And I feel like recently, actually, in the last few years on the internet, you see the little videos of the little girls like standing in the mirror saying, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am smart. And I think that is so wonderful. And I think as adults, we need to do that too. We need to preach it to our kids, and we need to preach it to ourselves.
So much of it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, it really is. And I think that's so true for me, specifically in my workouts, because I work out early. And most of the time, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, I work out. Haley and I work out together, and we do the same group workout. And I will be walking out there, and if I'm telling myself, I didn't get great sleep last night, I'm not feeling super energetic. Like, if I talk to myself that way, I'm going to go into the workout and I'm not going to give it 100%.
And then she gets real chatty.
I do. But if I go out there and I'm like, I'm going to kill this workout today. Like, man, I'm feeling energetic. I'm feeling strong. Like, I'm going to get after it. I get after it. And like, it feels so good. And I tell you, I could be physically, from a recovery standpoint, from a strength, from an endurance, from a hormonal standpoint, all the things that can influence your workouts, I could be in the exact same place, but if I tell myself I feel a certain way, it is going to impact my workout. That is true in every area of life. If you're going into a conversation, if you are going into making a big decision, maybe it has to do with like finance or future, if you're going into anything, it applies. Like, tell yourself that you've got it, because you've got it.
You've got it.
Like, you have got it.
Yeah.
Like, you do. You have the capacity. You likely have the skills. If you don't, then you're hungry for them. You're gleaning them. You absolutely can glean them. Like,
set up a plan to get those skills.
Yeah. Once again, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Like, it really comes down to the plan. And yes, life is busy. Like, life is so full, but it really does come back to that discipline sets you free. Like, the little things that you can do to set yourself up for success make the world of difference, and it helps quiet the chaos.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, because like, life can feel overwhelming, and life is overwhelming sometimes, but if you can do some things that help you pause and breathe and like quiet the chaos, you can actually enjoy the journey.
Yeah, and I think too that like having a plan.
We got a heart for that.
Well, good job, buddy. Very proud of you.
Sorry, guys.
We
get real excited about that.
If you plan, then all you have to do during the day, like if you pre-plan, you just got to follow what you set up. You got to just follow the plan. It leaves so much less room for anxiety about like, oh my goodness, how am I going to get all the things done? If you plan ahead, well, then you figured out, well, I need to be here at this time, and I need to make sure that this person takes this on, and you're setting yourself up for success. I mean, that's really what we want to do. And do we do it every day perfectly? No, absolutely not. I am by nature not a planner. I kind of like things to happen as the wind blows, but man, has it really helped me be more successful in especially like with Emmy and I running this business and having a lot more or just different responsibilities than what I'm used to. Like, having a plan has made all the difference in the world.
It does.
She's a real planner. She's good at this stuff.
It depends.
No, you're good at this. She'll like write me a text like, here's our to-do list. I'm like, oh, I better get a plan. How am I going to get all this stuff done? But
I do like lists.
Yeah.
I have a whole process, and I've saved all my journals with my lists over the years.
Oh,
and I have
wow.
a little benchmarking thing. It's really fun to kind of look back sometimes.
I don't do that.
I'm weird about stuff like that. Okay, so I do want to get into here in a little bit. I want to get into planning specifically for nutritional success.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I'd love to just share a couple other little tips, because we talked about going into an evening. So like the night before, we talked about the morning up. And if you guys have things that you do that you want to share that you think would be helpful for everybody on here too, like, please do. It's so fun. There's so many good reads. I know we've read several of them: Atomic Habits, The Success Mindset, a number of books that I think are really excellent that are out there. But a lot of it is trial and error.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. Trial and error. Yes, a lot of it is trial and error.
And figuring out what works for you and your own environment. Sorry, sometimes when my phone rings, it'll pause our thing. If for any reason at any time our sound goes off, let us know, because sometimes when we get interruptions, that happens.
I'm hot cold. Sorry.
I know, it's interesting out here.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, one thing, and I know this feels a little bit elementary, but it really can work. And this can be for reminding yourself for things, but also for practicing gratitude. And that is, buy yourself a stack of sticky notes.
Oh, I love sticky notes.
Buy yourself a stack of sticky notes and make them fun. Like, Papaya has these really cute ones. You don't have to get cute sticky notes. You could even get scrap paper and scotch tape, like whatever works. But
yeah, I like, what are the index cards?
Yeah.
I write on index cards a lot.
Yeah, and you guys, it can be so fun. So 2 ways that I suggest that you use these. One is, Haley brought up, like, defining your why. So if you can define your why for the different things that you are working towards, whether it be health, fitness, finance, relationships, whatever it is, define your why, put that on stickies, and put it around places that you commonly are at. Maybe on your bathroom mirror, maybe on your car dash, maybe on your refrigerator, like wherever it is that's going to be in your face.
In a Ziploc bag in your shower. Because you're in the shower, you tape it to the shower door or to the shower wall in a Ziploc baggie. You're not doing anything except washing yourself, getting clean. You might as well read some goals.
I'm not doing anything.
I mean, you're doing stuff, but...
So here's a challenge. Speaking of shower time,
Mm.
I challenge all of us to pay attention to what you're thinking about when you're in the shower, because that's what we call white space time. And if you can determine, like, you might ask yourself right now, and you might not actually be able to think about it, but start paying attention to what you're thinking about in those mindless moments, like in the shower. It's white space. And if we can all start shifting to use that white space to be thinking about passions, goals, planning, conversations, gratitude, self-improvement, whatever it may be, those are the times that can be super pivotal, because we already have that time. We already have to do those acts. And
brushing your teeth. My showers are cold, and so all I'm thinking about is singing the song that's playing until my shower can be done. But it is really important.
It's really interesting. Kimmy says, Kimmy says she can't hear us. I don't know. Can anybody else not hear us on Instagram specifically? It's ever since I got that call. Kimmy, can you hear us now? I don't know how to fix it.
I don't know how to fix it either. You can... Oh, well, sorry, Facebookers.
I lost audio as well.
Oh, sad day. Maybe you just need to restart your live.
But then we'll lose it for our thing.
No, I have it on... It's mine. I use mine.
I know, but for Insta, that's okay.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to go off and come back on.
We can use mine probably. Well, we'll figure it out. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. We should tell the world. You should turn off your calls when we do this.
Yeah, I should.
Just save it.
How do I do that?
I don't know. Sorry. Advanced settings. Yeah, put it in the archive. Okay, there it is. It's there. So it'll be there.
Okay, cool. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. We're back on Instagram. I think we've been live on Facebook this whole time. So I hope some of you guys are able to rejoin on Insta, and maybe there's a way to put them together. Maybe not. We'll see.
We are flexible human beings, so.
If you were on and we lost audio and you're back on, if you can let us know. Oh, it looks like we're good to go.
Great.
Thank you guys so much. I will. We'll figure that out. Okay, so back to stickies. So if you have stickies and you can use them to really remind yourself of your why. The other thing is just speaking kindness to yourself, to your family, to your kids, whatever it may be, via stickies can be so powerful.
And so fun.
Yeah.
My kids love that. And I used to do it a lot when they were little, and it's probably more powerful now that they're teenagers. But yeah, I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, it's love notes. Like love notes in lunchboxes. Like,
oh yeah.
I know it seems silly because we can all be better tomorrow than we are today. However, like, show yourself some love. Like, right? If you're writing your kids,
yourself a love note.
That's what it's just, yeah. Like, if you're writing your kids or your hubby or whomever a love note, well, hopefully, yeah.
Whoever you want to write a love note to,
write
just
yourself
do it.
a love note. Tuck it away somewhere that you're gonna find. Like, remind yourself, like, you guys, life is short. It sure can be.
Yeah.
And like, let's make the most of it. Let's be kind to each other and let's be kind to ourselves.
And if you have taken the time to plan your meals and you go to work and you pack your lunch, you write yourself a note and say, this is the best sandwich. This is the best, whatever it is, chicken stir fry that I'm ever gonna eat my whole life. That's the kind of note I would write for myself. Haley, you made the best chicken stir fry ever, and it's going to taste delicious at lunch. I love you. That's what I would say.
Everything that I've eaten that you've made is delicious.
Oh, well, maybe you should write me love notes.
I should. I'm gonna. Okay, guys. So we talked about. Sticky notes can be powerful. The other thing that you could use sticky notes for, but I would actually say that almost all of us have smartphones now, and so using your calendar to help set yourself up for success, even down to reminding yourself to breathe and to drink water. I used to wear an Apple Watch. I don't anymore. I use an Oura Ring, but The one thing I did love, I loved a lot of things about it, but one of the things I really appreciated about it is it would remind me to breathe. And I'm not just talking about like breathing throughout your day. I'm talking about stopping and taking a deep,
being intentional,
nasal, mindful breath that really does lower your heart rate. It helps release neurotransmitters. Like, there's a lot of benefits to taking a deep breath throughout your day. The other thing is water. So if you have a smartphone, you can go in there and you just schedule a reoccurring reminder. It might get a little annoying, but all you have to do is just swipe up. Let's say every hour it pops up and says, hey, you. Like, you make it fun. Like, take your sip, whatever it is. Like, it reminds you to be mindful, because then you start doing that. And I betcha.
She betches us. Whoa. Sorry.
I bet you.
I betcha. I'll just stick with that.
Within a couple weeks, it starts to become habit. They say it's like 21 days to create a healthy habit. Sometimes it's a little bit more. But you guys, that's not that long. Like, in the whole scheme of things in life.
3 weeks? Less than a month.
Yeah, like creating healthy habits that serve us, and then we can then serve those around us better, and set an example. Set an example for yourself, for your kids, for your coworkers, for whomever it may be. Like, take your water with you. Set yourself up for success by having things in your environment that are going to be easy grab and goes, especially to hit your macros. And we're going to, let's actually segue into that. Setting yourself up to be successful nutritionally. Let's break it down.
Our poor clients, because we preach this from the rooftops from day one. You need to be consistent when you're on a macro plan. Like, consistency is key. If you want to reach your goals in the fastest, most efficient way possible, then being consistent is going to get you there. And the way to do that is to pre-track your meals. And what that means is the day before, the week before, however long you want to ahead of time, you pre-track what you're going to eat. I eat the same breakfast every day. It's pre-tracked in my phone every day from here until eternity. If that changes, if I mix it up a little bit, it's a super easy change. So we tell our clients all the time, pre-track your meals. If you pre-track, then the next day, all you have to do is follow what you've already tracked and you're good to go. Now, if you pre-track your meals and you're not hitting your macros, you haven't been within 5 grams plus or minus on each one, then then it doesn't matter. Like, you have to, when you pre-track, do it for the entire day, for all of your macros. Finish out those macros and then adjust when and where needed. And that alone, it's such a simple task. It's a little tedious, feels tedious if you get into a routine where you shop ahead of time. And we have a bunch of tools on our webpage to help make this really easy. But if you create a meal plan for your week, like, we're going to eat this dinner this night and we're going to eat, I don't know, meatballs one night, whatever it is. If you plan ahead and shop for that, then you go in and you pre-track for all of those meals that you're already planned out. It's so simple and it sets you free. Oh my gosh. When I first started tracking, I didn't realize how powerful that simple little skill was going to, like, how it was going to change my life. I didn't realize it, because if you eat something and you go in and you track it, and then at the end of the day, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how it happened, but I need 50 grams of protein and I'm over on everything else. Well, it's not easy to make up that difference. And so pre-track sets you up for success, and it's a win. It's an automatic win.
And I know that especially for those of you not tracking, like, that might sound difficult. It's not, and it's just for a season. I mean, some people choose to track like on end, but the goal of when we're working with a client, depending on what their goals are, oftentimes it's recomposition, fat loss, maybe muscle building, all of the things. It takes specificity. It takes specificity for a season for us to really do the work with the metabolism. That doesn't mean that you're going to have to do that forever, but we need that consistency in that season. And so, like Haley said, pre-tracking is the name of the game. Set yourself up. If you're going to do a family meal in the evenings, track that first so you can work the rest of your day around it. A lot of our clients have more flexibility with their breakfast and their lunch, but they want to eat a family meal and they don't want to have to eat something differently. We don't want that either. We want sustainable results. You start figuring out what fuels you. Plus, don't be afraid to repeat meals. Like, eat the same thing here and there if you want to. I like variety, but there's certain things that I just have as staples almost every single day. It also makes it easier for me because the less small decisions you have to make every day sets you up to put more energy to those transformational decisions.
Yeah.
It's so true. Like, you know, I think it was Steve Jobs. I could be wrong on this, but I think he was the one that wore like the same t-shirt every day.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, just because, and he did things like that just because if he could remove all the small decisions from his day and he just knew without fail what he was going to do, it allowed him to use all of his energy credits for those bigger transformational decisions. So if we could all put less time into the transactional things in our life and more time into the transformational things in our life, it is amazing how much faster you can move the needle. So just like for me, even though I minimize the dairy intake that I have, I love Two Goods yogurts. Like I have a Two Good yogurt. It's great protein. I pair it with some grain-free granola like every single morning. I always have those on hand. Depending on where I'm at, like I'll always have a couple different types of jerky because I like to use that as a filler, and I'll just have them, like I'll grab it, I'll pre-track them out like 2 ounces per baggie so I can just grab and go. I always have them in my car. I always have them in my purse. Like I have things everywhere to set myself up for success so that I don't find myself in a situation where I don't have what I need to be successful. Do I sometimes? Yes. But well, ideally.
And also, I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I feel like I feel this way a lot. By the end of the day, I have decision-making fatigue. Like I'll tell my husband, I'll be like, I just don't want to make another decision. I don't care what happens for the rest of the day. I just don't want to make another decision. And so if I can so when my kids say, what's for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to make another decision.
Yeah.
You know, that happens sometimes. But like if I've pre-planned ahead, if they're like, what's for dinner? I'll be like, oh, well, go look on the fridge. You know, our weekly meals are up there. Go take a look. Or, oh, I'm making chicken stir fry or whatever it is. You know, it just simplifies things. We're all about simplifying life so that you can take the time to do the things that you love with the people you love.
It's so true. And then, so I would say the nutshell from a nutritional standpoint is, once again, it goes back to planning. Like, if you plan to fail, then if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And it's so true, like nutritionally. And so like know what your body needs would be step number one, like figuring that out. And if you need a coach for that, it's an amazing way to get there a lot faster. And I think that's true for a lot of areas of life. Mm-hmm. Then do a little bit of pre-planning. Have on hand what you need. Have on hand those simple go-to things that you enjoy that help fuel your body. Go into the week, go into the day with a plan. So I think that would be the biggest thing from a nutritional standpoint. I think it's really true with exercise too. So like we touch on all the big ones. Like we need sunlight, we need water, we need connection, we need sleep, we need fuel, we need energy. Like, like gratitude. I don't think I said that one. Like it's really getting back to basics. And if we can have a plan to optimally get each one of those basics, we are a better human race. Like we really are. And so with exercise, like if you're already exercising, fantastic. Like keep moving your body. Moving your body is the most important thing. If you're not, start small. Start with walking every day. Work your way up to 10,000 steps. Like get that movement in. Then add some resistance training. Then maybe add, cardio or HIIT or whatever it may be to augment that. But don't go from 0 to 60 or it will not be sustainable.
No, I think people think too. I know a lot of times, like if you say, oh, I went and worked out or whatever, a lot of people who are a little bit resistant to exercise feel like you have to go and climb a mountain in order for that to count. But that's not how it is. Often, on days when we don't, like on our off days, which aren't off days, but like we move our bodies.
Yeah.
Go for a walk. Like we go for a walk like all the time.
Yeah.
Emmy and I are constantly walking.
Yeah.
And does that count? Yes, it absolutely counts. If you're moving your body, it counts. And so don't feel like you have to go to the gym and do like the hardest workout you've ever done, or you have to go hike 20 miles for it to count. You just need to move your body. So stand up and do some jumpy jacks right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, moving your body a daily habit is critical for your longevity.
Yeah.
Like hydration, fuel, and movement, like we all need it. And we, we should be trying to be better tomorrow than we are today. we were having a conversation, and we have a question we'll get to here in just a minute, but we were having a conversation this last weekend. We have a young, I'll call him a young man, that is living with us right now, like very sweet boy. He's 20. He's going to be 21 soon. And he was talking to my boys about how he's getting ready to enter his prime.
That's weird. I'm in my 40s and I feel like I've just entered my prime.
That's what I said to him. I'm like, you might feel different about that as you get older. I said, I feel like I am like just entering my prime. And he had some really good questions, and we started talking about it, and I was like, had my 20-year-old self known the things that I know today in terms of like nutrition, hydration, sleep, recovery, connection, like all that, yes, I think I could have been the healthiest version of myself then. But because I have like learned and gleaned as the years went on and shifted habits, I actually feel like I am the healthiest version of myself today over the version that I was then. And so that's what I consider like, and I just let go of some things. Like you just do that as you get older. Like, it just enjoy life more. So regardless of what age you are, like it can be your healthiest years. Like it absolutely can be. So,
and if it's not, plan for it to be.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a question. I'm not much of a meat eater and don't enjoy it, but I know it's the best way to get protein in. Once I'm at my healthiest, can or should I transition back to less meat, or should I just enjoy it? That's a really good question.
Great question.
So first and foremost, like we want any nutritional like lifestyle to be sustainable and enjoyable. And so if you feel like you're force feeding yourself meat to get your protein in, there's a lot of things that can be done. Like everybody has a different protein threshold. Not everybody needs as much. Protein is definitely important. It's the most thermogenic of the macronutrients, so out of protein, carbs, and fats. And it also is what helps protect and sustain your muscle while you're losing fat. And so those things are important. But you might not have as high of a threshold. You might not need as much, especially if you don't enjoy it. And there's a variety of ways you can get protein in. We don't want you force feeding yourself a bunch of animal protein if that feels misaligned to you. Yeah. So I would say having a moderate level of protein in your like nutritional overview long term will be important, but protein doesn't have to stay super high for a long period. It really depends on the goal.
Yeah.
If somebody go ahead.
Oh, and there's lots of ways to get protein where you don't have to use animal products. Like you don't need to eat meat necessarily. There are a lot of products out there. You might want to be a little bit careful about the amount of soy products that you take in with tofu and those types of things, but sometimes those can be really packed with a lot of protein. So do a little bit of research on, what your body likes. If you're force feeding yourself meat, then it's not going to be sustainable. So then when you do reach your healthiest and you stop doing the things that you were doing, who knows how your body's going to react. So find the things that work for you now. If you're working with one of our coaches, be really open and honest with your coach about like, man, I just don't like meat. And they can give you different options of things that you can use to get more protein in that are not a meat source. So
we do have some vegetarian and or vegan clients that have success. We don't often get their protein as high, but they can get a lot of their protein from plant-based substances. Also, I do have some clients that do really well, mostly on like fish, eggs, and a lot of veggies and some seasonal fruits. Like that combo can be killer, and you can get a good amount of protein with that. They might supplement a little bit with some collagen or some things here and there, but we can get creative. So that's a great question.
Yep. We have lots of people who are vegetarians who are really successful. So
Yep. Okay. Let's nutshell it, shall we?
Are we going to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up with a pretty bow. Let's do it.
Okay. Setting yourself up for success is paramount for you to be able to move the needle.
That's a good word. I love that word.
Paramount?
Yeah, it is paramount.
It's paramount.
And if you fail to plan, then plan to fail.
Yeah. Who wants to plan to fail?
No.
I don't.
Not me.
Okay, so to wrap it up, the night before, so tonight, if we can all take a couple of minutes, write down our plan for tomorrow. set out our workout clothes if you're going to work out in the morning.
will you please?
I will.
Actually, I don't want you to. I want to see what you come up with tomorrow.
So you're going to maybe see a little bit more of us today because we're going on a little planning retreat tonight. But we have a lot of work.
We have a lot of work to do, but we plan on having fun. Well, we have fun while we're working anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so setting yourself up for success for tomorrow by doing a few things tonight. Get that water out. Pre-plan your day for tomorrow. Get your food tracked. As much as you can do tonight, you will rest better. You'll probably have more deep restorative sleep, and you will wake up feeling like you have a plan for success. Wake up in the morning. Don't snooze. Don't hit that snooze button.
Don't do it.
You can lay there or you can get up, but take a little bit of time before you turn your phone on. Don't allow your phone to start distracting you. Don't jump into your emails. Don't jump into social media. Don't jump into those things.
Don't jump into social media. Don't do that.
Take a little bit, just a short window, like revisit your plan for the day. Practice a little bit of gratitude. Like, what are you thankful for? Start your day with a positive mindset. It goes so far. Speak kind words to yourself. Take that drink of water. Get
a big
that
drink,
workout
a big
in.
drink of water.
Try to drink a whole glass of water,
Yeah,
honestly. And then, like, do little things. Like, really establish your why. Whatever your goal is, write it down. Write down your goal. Write down your why. Put that in places. Use sticky notes. Put it in places so that you're reminded. It really does help because it's so much more about discipline than it is motivation. We will lack motivation, but if we have discipline, and sometimes when motivation is waning, those little sticky notes can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to use your phone's calendar. Like, set some reminders in there that whether it's every hour it pops up, have you drank your water? Make it fun. Like, have you done your movement? You know, maybe, especially if you have a sedentary job, like, try standing. Like, set yourself reminders for every couple of hours to do some jumping jacks, whatever it is. Like, whatever is going to help you move towards that. It's going to help you cognitively. It's going to help you move the needle more closer to your goal. And then nutritionally, like, really making a plan. Going back to pre-tracking, having the things on hand that you need to fill in the holes, setting a little bit of time aside to have easy grab and goes. It's huge. And then I think a big thing is, whatever the goal is, you have to have a plan. And so if you know you have a goal, but you don't know how to get from here to there, work with somebody that can help you get there. So whether it be from a nutritional standpoint, whether it be from an overall health standpoint, a fitness standpoint, a finance standpoint, a relationship standpoint, like, there are some tremendous coaches and mentors out there in the world, and you do not have to reinvent the wheel. So don't be afraid to ask somebody for their expertise or assistance, and, like, have fun learning. Like, learning is fun. It can be.
Yep. If you are interested in having a health and nutrition coach, and you want to become part of our community, because we have a lot of fun,
We sure do.
you can go to macromavens.life. You should go there anyway. Check out the toolbox page. We have a lot of resources for free that you can download. We have some meal planning ideas and calendars that you can use just right at your fingertips, whether you're a client or not. So go check that out. If you are interested in hopping on with us, click the hop on board button on our website. A coach will connect with you. You're not committing to anything. It's just starting a conversation. We say it every week, but we love this community.
Yeah,
we love
do.
getting on here and chatting with you guys, and hope that you are able to glean some knowledge, and if nothing else, at least have a good laugh at us. So.
Yeah. At us.
Yeah, with us.
Thank you guys.
Have a
Monday.
great week. Have a great week, guys.
Yep.
Till next time.
Bye.